Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Isla's Army. It's a very special day today because it is the £1 for Isla Day. Today was supposed to be the start date, but people have already been very generous and started already getting involved and sending over your donations. Baz, give us an update on where we are at this point.
I'd like to tell you precisely, mate, but I can't because PayPal.
Just give us an estimate. Give us an estimate, man.
Last count, last night, first thing this morning, £11,691.51p. Plus, I've just had him on the phone just before we joined this while we're late. Betway, West Ham club sponsors have kindly making today a £5,000 donation. So that will put us over 16,000 quid. There's been loads coming in, but at the minute I can't get into PayPal to get up to date. But I think we're going to be touching the £18,000 to £20,000 mark if we're not now, very, very soon, which is incredible. With everything else we've done this month, we will be over £20,000 this month for sure.
Absolutely amazing, mate. So if everyone can keep using the hashtag £1 for Isla on every tweet that they do today, and also like and sharing everything from the Twitter profile, that would be absolutely amazing. And who knows where we could end up at the end of it. The generosity already has been absolutely amazing. So let's continue that and let's see what we can achieve. Flav, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
No, it's a pleasure. And, it's just good to be able to help out and raise some money for Isla because obviously it's an important thing. You see how much she benefited the last time she got the treatment. So anything we can do, regardless of rivalries and football rivalries, I mean nothing when there's a health of a little girl on the line. So anything you need, we'll do.
Nice one, appreciate that.
And that is a very, very good point. I mean, we've had people in here supporting all different clubs. It isn't about the colour of the shirt. Cancer has no colours. It is all about us all pulling together and making a difference. We've had Tottenham fans in, Chelsea fans, Man United, all different clubs, and obviously Millwall have even got involved previously as well. So it just does go to show you that rivalries can be set aside when there's something really important. Normally Baz is up and down the country with buckets outside the games, raising money. Unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity at the moment because of the way of the world. So people like you, getting involved and helping raise awareness, I don't think people really appreciate what a difference that makes. So thank you.
No. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to have a podcast that people listen to, and a Twitter profile that's followed by a few people as well. So if you can use that for a positive thing, then you should do it. It should be an obligation, really, not it's not a kind thing I'm doing. It's just something that more people should do. So not a problem. How much do you need to raise in total? What's the goal?
There isn't a figure, to be honest. The problem is there's no cure for neuroblastoma, so everything's a trial. So over here, the trials are so expensive. So over here, the trials aren't available. So at the moment, she's just having antibiotics and chemo. I spoke to Nicola every day. I spoke to her this morning. I'll do an update later on, but the antibiotics isn't working. The chemo is obviously what chemo is. She needs to be abroad where the trials are about, but obviously they're expensive. So when people say how much, we've raised in total probably £550,000, £600,000. There's about 150, 160,000, maybe 200,000 left, and that's not been enough. We've got her into remission twice, but sadly she's relapsed, and so to put a cap on it, I think it would be the wrong thing to do. All I will say,
fair enough, yeah.
I'll say this forever, whatever's raised, when Isla's better and she doesn't need that funding anymore, that money will move on to another child and it will help that child with their fight. So if people think they've got enough, there's never enough. And like we said at the start, cancer has no colours. If Isla's account has got £200,000 over in it when Isla's had all her treatment and she's good, that passes on to another kid. And whether that's a Tottenham fan, an Arsenal fan, a Man United fan, whoever, it doesn't matter. That's for another child to fight this horrific disease that's out there. So for me, for us, it's just about raising as much as we can. And whatever's left over is left over. We could never have enough. That's all I will say.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think what's every round of the trial treatment that they used to have before, Baz, something like £80,000
Yeah,
for
it's a lot of
each round.
and
It's a lot of money for a single round. So
I want to quickly say as well, because people don't realise, the Bradley Lowry Foundation, who are the governing body of the Just Giving, all the money that was paid for Bradley, bless his heart. No, Bradley lost his fight against this horrible thing. God bless him. And the money that was left over from that has helped these other children. It helped Isla at start. So that's what it's about. It's about everybody pulling together. So the Just Giving page is fantastic. The Just Giving page helps pay for all the treatment. It helps pay for their travel and accommodation. The reason I do things and I do cash on some of it, like now we're doing PayPal, is because I will get half the money to the family, because the more money that's in the pot for the treatment, the better. It does really go the same place, but I'd rather say to Nicola, there's 10 grand into the Just Giving page. There's 5 grand for you. Travel first class. Get your daughter there ASAP. There's your money for your accommodation for the next 2 months. There's no stress then. They've got a girl at home still, Millie, their other daughter. They've got to pay to put a roof above their head. Neither of the parents are working. I've been in Barcelona with them when they've been there. 4 tolls a day, €44 a day alone. They're fees that people don't see.
I think the point is, mate, that Nicola hasn't left the hospital for the last 9 days.
No, there you go.
She's sitting in there. She can't go and do anything else. So it's tough. So yeah, it's we need to do what we can. We need to do as much as we can. And at the moment, everyone has been incredible. So thank you so much, and let's continue.
Yeah, bang on. And everybody that's made a donation, and I've had people messaging me saying, sorry, it's only £1, that's all I can afford, or sorry, it's only a tenner. I promise you, we only ever asked for £1. So if you sent more than that, I'm over the moon. You sent £1, that's what we asked. Fantastic. But you that couldn't, and you that have said, I'm sorry, I can't afford it, but you hit retweet, I promise you that's as good and that's as big, because it gets more eyes to see it. The more eyes that see it and can help, the better. And you people, thank you so much for just sharing it, if that's all you've done.
There have been some lovely things as well by Robert Snodgrass this week. He done a lovely video, didn't he, which was really good, and posted that out, made a difference.
But as you said, I mean, Snods has been keeping an eye on it as well. He messaged me late last night and said, mate, amazing what you've done. And I said to him, that's because of you, the video, the awareness you've caused. And when it's not, he said, that's just good people in this world. That man stepped up when she needed someone a while ago and helped raise 30 grand then, and again now he's put himself, he's not even at the club no more, and that proves that cancer has no colours. You just got to have heart, and if you've got heart, you can help everybody out.
Absolutely, mate. Well, talking about heart, we've got differences in what our loves are over the course of this weekend, and it's going to be an interesting one. I think both of our fans are probably feeling a little bit nervous. I had a call from Steve yesterday, who joins in our shows and joins in the radio show that we do, and he said he's a bit concerned that everyone is taking this a little bit lightly and maybe a little bit overconfident. I kind of agree with that a little bit. I'm nervous. We're always nervous going into these games, and even he said he hates this game, hates it, because it's really difficult to lose to Tottenham, and you just never know how these games are going to go, and why every now and then we seem to have been getting the better of this fixture over the last sort of couple of years. It can blow up in your face very, very quickly, and we all know that Tottenham have been underperforming a little bit, but it's typical. Last time we played you, Harry Kane made his way back into the team after an injury, and we're seeing exactly the same again. How are you feeling, Flav, for the weekend? Are you feeling confident or nervous?
Well, I'm not confident, obviously, because West Ham are 5th. I can't remember the last time the gap in points has ever been this big when you guys have been above us. You're playing really well. I'm amazed that David Moyes is having the season that he's having, because I'd kind of written him off as a bit of a dinosaur, and perhaps the only dinosaur in this game is Jose Mourinho. But it's I wouldn't, as a West Ham fan, come into this game being ultra confident. Like, Spurs aren't a bad side. We haven't turned into guff overnight. It's just things aren't quite there, and the style of football isn't there, and which makes everything a lot worse. But in recent weeks, in parts of that game against Man City, although they're so good, it's a kind of a write-off anyway, we did play well. And, against we started to play football a little bit. So while I'm not confident at all, I can see, you know how football works. Often you go in as the favourites. I can't imagine West Ham relaxing at all. They know how big this game is. But football, turns things on its head quite quickly. So, and in Son and Kane, Højbjerg in midfield, we've got players that can damage anybody. But our defence is an issue. And is Antonio fit?
Touch and go. He had a late fitness test in the last one because he pulled up in training, but he's obviously had a bit of time now to try and get himself better. I think if there's any chance, even if it's 70 to 80%, I think he does play. I think they'll take that risk. I think that worries us all because we'd rather him miss one more game and be around for the rest of the season than try and come back for Tottenham and blow up and so on. So
he'd be a nightmare. I hope he isn't fit, and it looks like Sanchez will start because he didn't play last night against. I didn't even know this team existed before we pulled him in Europa League, Wolfsberger. It looks like Sanchez will play, and Antonio will likely to have a field day against him. He's just not.
Did Kane get rested last night as well?
Yeah, he wasn't even in the squad.
Yeah, so that worries me. That worries me. That shows that he is taking West Ham very, very seriously.
More important than last night, of course.
He's got to, ain't he? Because they're cut adrift. If West Ham beat him, ain't we 9 points above you? Or 6.
I know the answer to that. You know the answer to that, don't you?
Well, I don't even look, to be honest.
Yes,
I know we're above you. Is it 6 points now?
Yeah, it is, I think, 6, and it would be 9. I don't know what we've got.
Yeah, 6.
We need to go on to some run to even be talking about Champions League place this year. So if we don't win this and win the vast majority of our games, we ain't got any chance. Last night wasn't the team. The quality of the side wasn't good, so we could afford to rest Kane. But you would have played him if you needed a result.
I didn't know it because I hadn't looked that low, to be honest. Not. But
we'll see.
Our ears are bleeding, our eyes are bleeding a lot for us at the minute, mate. Not just our noses. We've never been up here.
Vertigo is a difficult thing.
It's tricky.
It won't be easy. Sorry.
No, go on, mate. Go on.
It won't be easy for us. Tottenham is still a side you've got to respect. I do think, and I've said this for a long time, I said it with Frankie, I think Jose Mourinho, sadly, is too arrogant to get the best out of what's at Tottenham. And it's his way and that's it. And he won't mix up to make it better. The fact Harry Kane, I know he done well, but Harry Kane was playing deeper. That man scores goals for fun. Why do you want to waste him being so deep? I know he can create, but go and buy a creator. Why are you letting someone like Eriksen leave? A man who creates goals and then you've got a goal scorer in front of him. That's the thing for me. I think Jose's got his way and he's stubborn to that. And for other sides, when you look at them defensively, I think that's where you can get at Tottenham. Going forward, they could score 3 or 4 every single game. But defensively, they could concede it. Yeah,
I agree. Defensively, especially, is our biggest weakness. And it would be fine if it's just so boring. The football at times has been boring. The last 4 or 5 games, it's started to pick up a little bit. So there's hope there. Gareth Bale's starting to show a bit of form. I know the game last night can't be taken in because, like I said, the quality of the opposition was pretty low. But when he came on against Man City, he looked clearly the most dangerous. So if he can start playing, then who knows? But it kind of feels like with Jose Mourinho, he's so the type of character he is and the type of football we've been playing, that if he isn't getting results, then he's always under pressure. And if the fans were in the stadium, I don't think he would have been there for as long as he has, because sitting back and watching that and sitting back against teams like Fulham at home and trying to counter them, it's so boring, lads.
Has he always done that? Is that how it was at the start? Or is that a new thing?
Porto, when he was manager of Porto, they were free-flowing, youthful. He had youthful exuberance and arrogance, and he's still got the arrogance, but I think he's learned too much. He's gone through too much, and because of that, because of you lot, actually, when you pulled those 3 goals back in 9 minutes, it was almost as if he was like, "Well, I'm not letting that happen again," and it's come at an expense. He says, "I'm not trying to play this way. my instruction is to be a bit more expansive and aggressive with the ball. But the evidence, it can't not come from his instruction if we're playing week in, week out like it. It's not the players taking it on themselves to play this negative football. But there is still a team there, and we can still hurt people. And I think the confidence of West Ham fans going into this might be a little bit misplaced. Not that we're going to go there and turn up, but I remember being in similar situations when we were flying against Arsenal, 12 points above them once, turned up at their place, went 2-0 up, and they turned us over 5-2. Same thing the next season. So in my head, that's at the back of my mind. I'm thinking, hopefully we can do that against West Ham. But, you deserve to be where you are, playing really good football. The best I've seen since the days of Joe Cole and Ferdinand and Lampard when you had those. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think the football is necessarily what we play that exciting. I don't sit there and go, I'm in awe of how we're playing and get excited like I did in those days. But what we definitely do have is a level of work rate and commitment that I've not seen in West Ham for a long time, and also a fitness level that I've not seen. We've had these Czech boys come in Surček and Sufal, and they're like athletes that can just run and run and run. And I think that's sort of stemmed over into the rest of the squad. I think the other team players have looked at them and gone, well, that's the standard. That's where we need to be. And we've never been like that. We've always watched us, fade away in games and struggle. It's unusual for West Ham to be on this side of things, to be quite honest. We like turning up when it's least expected and achieving something that nobody saw coming. The fact that we're on the other side of it now and we're the team expected to go and try and get a result may not be the best place for us to be. And that's what worries me a little bit. I would much rather be the normal West Ham going into this game and, having to produce a miracle, because that's what we do. However, Moyes has yeah, absolutely. But Moyes has changed. West Ham, you used to could predict what West Ham was going to happen to us way before it happened. For example, we went on a terrible run when we played you at your stadium, first team to win now. And I said to Baz for months, I said, I can tell you the next game we win, it will be Spurs at Spurs. And you just knew it was coming. This time round, very, very different story. I'm not... It's tough. I know if we turn up and we play the way that we like to play football, we've got a massive chance. My fear is that in these big games, David Moyes loves to do what basically Mourinho does and put every man behind the ball and try and hit you on the break. And I'm not sure that is a very good idea against Kane and Son. I think if you do that with them, they'll unlock the key. And we, especially without Ogbonna. Ogbona's a massive loss for us, almost as big as Antonio. So not having Ogbonna in there, if we do decide to try and keep you out, it could be our downfall. You've had some quality recruitment, haven't you? Like I know Gold and Sullivan get a lot of stick and they're not liked, and I get it 100% about the stadium and that what they did there, in my opinion, was scandalous. But they've done well. They've signed some really good players. Like Bowen, you haven't mentioned. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a really good player, very dangerous, and Souček in midfield has been a revelation this year. Before that, Balbuena and Diop have been good signings. Creswell, and it's a really solid squad and a really shrewd acquisition. I'm not sure you got in your scouting network who's responsible for it, but he deserves a raise. Really, really impressive. You look at some of the.
Try
give David Sullivan a raise.
Is it him that's out there though? There must be someone out there.
Him and his sons on FIFA.
Flav, you are right. There's been good recruitment, some of these players, and I mean, Jim White on Talk Sports saying our West Ham fans are up in arms when we signed Kufau for 5 million. Mate, we don't care if you're 5 million or 55 million. Just work your arse off for the team. You do that, and the fans will love you forever, and they'll sing your name. We still sing about Colton Cole. We still sing about Christian Daly. In all respect to them, neither of them were good footballers, but they gave you everything on the pitch for 90 minutes. And I mean that with respect. I think
it's the same for every most fans and most clubs. You just want to see. We sing about Stefan Freund, and he was awful. Yeah, awful. We still sing about him. So yeah, you're right.
And as good as these players have been, who you've mentioned, let's not forget we've signed Jordan Hugill. There's been many. Honestly,
Zaza, Faguli, Gokantore.
They've gone through 49 strikers since they've been there. And tell me which strikers at the club now. 49 they signed.
Yeah, he sold him. Hello,
there is not a forward there. And
Antonio, he's played in every position on the pitch. Yeah, he was a right back.
And that's my point. So there has been great recruitment, and the likes of the Czech 2 this year, Aaron Cresswell, Diop, Fabianski's been a superb keeper for us.
Yeah.
Fabianski's superb. But there's been a lot of other rubbish too.
I do put it down to more luck than judgment, and that's maybe a little bit harsh, but I do think if you sign enough players, eventually you'll stumble across someone who ain't too bad, and if you go through it, that's
so when you sign them, and all of a sudden the people that are balled in are like, oh, look at this recruitment, he can't be that bad, brilliant. But you can't have that one good against 25 bad players. Now we paid 40 million quid for Haller, gone. 25 million. Where's that money? 40 million for Anderson. Looks like he's going to be leaving in the summer for 15 out on loan at the minute. That's not good business. Sold Grady Diangana for 15 million. Fantastic business that is. Because the boy, without being rude, ain't even done it at West Brom. Done it in the Championship. Maybe that's his level. And we've replaced him with Bowen, like you said, who has been fantastic for us. But I think the biggest thing, and it's not about winning or losing for West Ham, it's about the lies and the false promises we've had for years.
Yeah.
No chairman can promise you will be in the Champions League. I understand that. I respect that. Daniel Levy can't at Spurs. The league's too tough. And if Spurs can't promise it, West Ham can't. But when you've got your chairman on TV saying, we're going to buy this, we bid £35 million for that, you know it's false. Why are you bidding 35 million quid for a £60 million player? You ain't going to get him. So don't say we tried. That's what the fans can't handle, the lies throughout. And the move to the ground, it's not the stadium itself. But when your chairman stands there at Upton Park and says, I promise you we will not move to a ground where the gap's bigger than this on the side of the pitch, then you go to the London Stadium and the distance is triple that. Yeah. Something's wrong. That's a lie. Fans can't put up with that anymore. And that's why GSB's wanted out. I promise you West Ham could finish in the top 4 this year. They won't now, but could have won the FA Cup. And the motto will still be the same, GSB out. And that's not because any other reason apart from the lies and the false promises they've given us for years.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, mate. Flav, I just want to... And looking at this situation that you've got at Tottenham at the moment, if Jose Mourinho goes and wins a trophy this season and does get it over the line, I know you've got a big task against Man City. It's not going to be easy, and Man City are obviously going to be the favourites for that.
Yep.
If he achieves that, winning is a habit. Winning is something that you've got to start somewhere. And if he does bring a trophy, which is a long time coming for you guys and should have, happened long before now. If he does that, is there any chance that he goes and wins that trophy, goes on an acquisition hunt in the summer, brings in some players that he feels allow him to play in a more entertaining brand and style of football, and then is there any chance that he can turn this around and actually start playing decent football and making Tottenham a success? Because I saw him in that All or Nothing show, and I thought the foundations were there. I thought you were going on to big things, and I thought you was going to really make a challenge for the title this season, and it hasn't transpired. Is it a little bit early for the majority to be saying, he should go?
Look, if he wins the League Cup, then he's done what one day Ramos did. Don't get me wrong, I'd take it all day. I'm desperate to win something like any fan of any club is, and it's really hard to win trophies. No matter, we get a lot of stick for bottling it all the time, but winning trophies is difficult. If it was easy, so many more teams would do it. You look at the winners of the FA Cup, shared by about 5 people. There's like 8,000 teams enter that competition. 5 teams have won it over the last 15 years. So it's difficult. Will he change his style? I don't think he will. I think this is the way he wants to play. If he can't do it with Pogba and Ibrahimovic at Tottenham, and he can't, at Man United before that, and he can't do it with Son, Kane, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Bergwijn. If he can't play attacking football with those players already, he's got enough already to play more attractive football. Then he probably never will. I don't think he'll be sacked. He's on £15 million a year. if we get to the end of the season and we're still wherever we are, 9th, 10th, if West Ham finish above us,
Where are you?
West Ham finish above us and Arsenal finish above us. No, do you know what I mean? Fair enough. You've got to take your medicine. You know, we've been above West Ham for a long time, so you've got to take your medicine when that happens. But I'm not sure his position becomes untenable because he has a year left on his contract after this one. And if there's an opportunity to replace him with a younger, fresher manager, someone like Brendan Rodgers or Nagelsmann, I know you'll love his pick of clubs, but if that was an option, then I think we'd probably act on Jose Mourinho. Otherwise, he's going to be here to stay. But I don't think there'll be much acquisitions in the summer anyway, or not with the way the world is at the moment and the money coming in. If anything, I'd imagine we'll look to start shifting out some players.
If Jose wins that trophy, that League Cup, that makes him more successful than Pochettino too, right?
Yeah, fundamentally. And that just goes to show how little winning trophies actually means. Because under Pochettino, at times, it was the best feeling in the world being a Spurs fan. Like, absolutely loved it. Then it started going tits up and we started playing football as bad as Jose Mourinho is playing. And you know, in the end, Pochettino probably did have to go. But we didn't win anything, but it was the best. That was the best experiences in 2015, 2016. That season was the most fun I've ever had, and we didn't win anything. We were sort of in a title race with Leicester, but we never really was. And it was fantastic. So I don't look back at that and think, oh, well, you know, we didn't win it. I was just grateful that it happened. We got to the Champions League final, 90 minutes, anyone, you know, between two teams. It's just one of those things, you know, someone has to lose. And on that day, it was us. We were lucky to get there anyway. So it was just, yeah, it's not really about winning things. It's about how you feel. Are you enjoying the football? Do you feel connected to your fellow fans?
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's a massive point, massive. And we said that for, you know, under Sam Allardyce, we had stability. We was never going to get relegated. Mate, I didn't even want to go to a game. I had no interest in going and watching West Ham. And that's really hard to take. Stability for me. And I think that's the thing with us at the moment, you know, stability ain't enough. And, mate, I want to win something in my lifetime. And as a West Ham fan, you never see that coming. And I'd love us to roll the dice, or I felt like we needed to roll the dice to have a chance of any success at West Ham. Moyes is showing potential. Can he keep it up and can it be long term? I have my doubts. But then no
one's giving West Ham a chance. But why can't you finish in the top 4 this season? There's no reason why you can't. Absolutely.
There's not one person in football media that I think actually has given us the potential to achieve that. Stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened.
Of course they have. You know, it's better to be under the radar and not being mentioned. If people will continue to be surprised by West Ham's way of playing, the better chance you have of getting through. I honestly, every fibre of my being hopes that doesn't happen. But being realistic, you've got to be honest. And you know, if you beat us and Chelsea draw, you're in the top 4.
Absolutely. Give us your prediction for the game. How do you see us panning out
for a cup final?
3-0 Spurs.
Nice. Until the last 9 minutes, and then it all goes wrong, and it goes to 3-3. Or
look, it's so frustrating that it's West Ham are the ones that turn up. It's like, you know, I don't believe in bogey teams and all that. I think it's nonsense, right? But it's so frustrating when through the years you've had these moments of several continual moments of just doing us over. It's really frustrating to watch. So hopefully we stuff you at the weekend.
That's been the other way as well. There was times like when Barrow was scoring last minute against us at our place, the year when we went down the 4-3, the first game of the season that year when Noble missed the penalty. And
a lot happens, doesn't it, between us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. But apparently it's our cup final and we get our ribbons out and that. So
I just for the record, I understand how irritating that is. And I never do it. I'm not saying this because of me. I'm respectful of I don't like West Ham, but I'm respectful of this kind of club you've got and the working class fan base that's very traditional in what football used to be. And it's important that we celebrate that and acknowledge it at least. And it's not your cup final. It's a game that matters to both fans. If you go outside in the old White Hart Lane and West Ham came to town, you knew about it. And from both sides, there was a needle. So it's bollock. It's just something that someone, sorry, I didn't know if I swear. It's just something that someone people say to get under West Ham fans' skin. But it's the same thing Arsenal and Tottenham used to do. Arsenal used to say that all the time until we put them in their place. And they say, "Oh, enjoy your cup final," and you're like, "Well, you haven't finished above us in 5 years now, so whose cup final is it now?" I never do. I never do that. I'll give it if we win, and as is my right, and as is your right if you do win, bragging rights and all that. But it's all nonsense. That.
Yeah, you got to have a good bit of banter. If you can have a bit of banter, it's all good, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
I just turn my phone off. I can't handle it. No WhatsApp messages, nothing.
I was just about to say, if you beat us, Frankie, block him for God's sake.
Mate, I've always had this, and some people say, "Oh, when you have your day, it's nice to have." Mate, I've always known that as a West Ham fan, never ever give stick when you win a game because it comes back round so fast, and it then can come round for the next 20 years without you having your chance again. So
I should learn my lesson, but I don't. So I give it and then turn my phone off so people can't contact me if we lose. But the worst one we did was when Spurs Arsenal went 1-0 up a couple of years ago, and Spurs scored 2 just before half time to go 2-1 up. And Eric Dyer ran off to the Arsenal fans and did this. We tweeted that at half time, just minutes after we did it. And then they come back and beat us 4-2. So you imagine about coming around fast, that come around in 45 minutes. That one.
Didn't something happen as well when Walcott went off stretchered? Didn't he give it one of them or something? Was that Tottenham?
Yeah, but they won.
I think he was getting loads of it and he was giving it loads.
They were throwing coins at him and that. Walcott and Spurs had there was always needle between them. Like some Arsenal fans go under the radar, and the ones that actually give it, the Arsenal players that actually give it, are the ones that I respect the most. Like Jack Wilshere is one of the only ones Arsenal fans I can tolerate because he understands what that means. I think Dele Alli did it as well. Did the two fingers up. We won that one, so yeah, it's fine to give it and then hide when it goes wrong.
Fine to give it and hide. I'm not sure that's the sort of thing that you're supposed to teach your children as sort of the way to live life. It's supposed to be give it and then stand the ground and take it on the chin, but no, give it and go and hide. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I know you've got to get off and you've got to do other things, so I do appreciate your time joining us today. Baz, give us a bit of an update on where we are with Isla. What's the situation? Have things got any better since the last update? And, we will leave it there.
The last update was positive. She hadn't had a fever. Sadly, last night, she's had a ECG and that was okay. But sadly, last night, she's had an unsettled night again. Her potassium levels are very low. So she's now been put on a heart monitor because obviously the potassium levels help her heart. So she's on the monitor there. They didn't get the move to Great Ormond that they wanted, so it's a case of waiting for that. So she's still fighting hard, bless her. But the love and support from you lot who have been donating and your kind messages go to the family, and it means everything. Keep them coming. We'll be behind her. She's putting this fight up. She won't stop. She's got her mum by her side, and we'll do the spade work here. So fingers crossed she keeps going through and she can come off this heart monitor soon. She is due to start chemo Monday, but I don't think her blood levels will be ready for that now. So that will be delayed. Just got to get her right, get her to Great Ormond Street where she can have some more treatment and then get her ready to go abroad. That's the goal, but I will keep you updated as I know more. Nicola's waiting to hear from the doctors now. As soon as she knows, she'll let me know and I will post a tweet.
Excellent. Thanks, mate. Flav, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for
thanks for your time, Flav. Really appreciate it.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. Pleasure.
Right then, mate.
Appreciate
We
it.
shall call it a day there, and we'll be back over the course of the next few days. It's obviously £1 for Isla Day, so please, if you can give anything towards that, whether it be £1, £5, whatever it may be, but even £1 is enough. If you can't, please like, share, and subscribe. We want to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. Once this channel does manage to get monetized, every single penny that this channel generates will also go into Isla's pot. Me and Baz will never take a penny from any of the things that we do on this channel. Every single thing that happens here all goes to Isla and her fight. So if you can subscribe, if you can like and share with everyone that you know, that would be massively appreciated. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will be back before the Tottenham game.